Welcome back, YouTube. I hit 100 subscribers. I'm happy about it. May not seem like a lot to y'all, but I'm pretty giddy about it. So, I told y'all that I would build this box and we'll give it away. And I'll make that 445 joint on purpose this time. We'll use this Purple Heart and this White Oak, and we're gonna give it away. So stay tuned to the end and I'll let y'all know how to win it. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start this out like we start every other video. We're going to start milling the lumber. Now, to speed up video production and shorten your time there a little bit, I went ahead and put multiples on the screen. If you like this, let me know in the comments. I'll keep doing it more often. This is my first time doing this in a video. I just figured it out. I thought it looked pretty cool, and it saves a little bit of time. I've also added a little bit of music, so it's not just me rambling on, even though I'm still rambling on. So what I'm doing here is I'm milling the lumber down to get it ready to go into the planer. I found that if I cut it to just about an eighth larger than what my stock needs to be, I can run it through the planer in a much quicker fashion and I don't lose nearly as much material. What I'm doing here is I am setting it up to run about a 3/16 cut on a 3-inch board. Now, this is a problem because my throat plate won't support that kind of cut. I should have put a zero clearance plate in there, and I did not. So, just keep watching. I will be making a zero clearance plate for this very soon. If y'all want to see that, let me know and I'll make sure to video it. So if you've watched my videos, you've seen me do this before. I should have done it before I started cutting that Purple Heart. So we've got this all milled up. I got some 1/8" Purple Heart. I got some 1/2" oak. And I've set up a stop block at 11 inches because this is 11 inches this way. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to put the first miter on, and then we'll put a new stop block on it, and we'll cut for the sides and the height. Let's do that. So I set my stop block at 11 first. I cut all 4 of those, then I turned it to 45 and cut all 8 sides off that same stop block. I then did the same thing with a 12 4¼ inches. Now we got all our miters cut, got all our grooves cut. Time to tape it up, put the Purple Heart in it, get some glue on it, and we'll leave it overnight. So we'll put on some music. We're going to do that, and yeah, let's do it. While that glue was drying on those panels, I figured I'd go ahead and get the stock ready for the lid. So I needed an 1/8 inch for the bottom, and I needed about a 3/8 piece for the top. Well, for the lid anyway. So I ran them through, and then I ran them through the planer, all while that glue was drying. That way I didn't have to sit and wait on anything. Speaking of glue, I figure it'd be a good time to get what I'm going to call trim pieces glued together for the center. That way it makes like a raised panel look without actually being a raised panel. This is where I cut the top and the bottom smaller than what the sides are. It gives the sides a nice chunky look to it. If you look to the left, you can see the board from the kickback video. Now, if you watch, I'm using a 1/2 inch stop block to the side of this so that I don't do that again. I've also put the riving knife back in it, so this is a much safer production. I'm cutting the 45s on all sides, making sure to switch them back and forth. Once I have that done, I went ahead and cut the dados in the bottom. That way it'll hold the bottom piece. It'll just slide right in and be all good. So what I'm doing right now is I am taping up just to the inside of the miter. That way when I fold this thing up, all the glue squeeze out stays on that tape and not on my boards. Saves a lot of cleanup later on. Well, we have our box. I'm going to let that glue dry overnight, and then we'll come back and we'll hit it with some splines, and we'll put the squares and the fronts and the backs and the lid. We'll work on getting that all done tomorrow. So, see you tomorrow. So, we're back. Glue's dry. Take the tape off of it. And we'll get some splines in it because I'm sure y'all want some splines. We are going to flatten the bottom because a little, well, not too bad, but my table's not flat. So, I will show you how to flatten the bottom with an unflat table. I went and bought this piece of tile. It's 12 by 24 and used some double-sided tape, stuck his sandpaper down, and what we do is we'll take this, let's see if it's flat on this first. It is not. So, take this on this double-sided tape and this sandpaper. Hold on. Fix that. That's pretty good. All right, now we're gonna put some splines in it, and then we'll get all these edges cleaned up. I got my splines cut. We're going to glue them in. Make sure they push all the way back on both sides. If not, you'll see a gap when you're done gluing them. So we'll set this off to dry, and then we'll get to work on the lid. Now that we know the size that we need, which is 4 1/4 by 11. All right, 4 3/8 by 11. So we'll go ahead and cut that and wait on this to dry. I'm just kind of tweaking in the measurements here, going little by little until I get a very nice fit. Here I am again with that inside tape. Just so that there are no clamp marks, I went ahead and I just used the tape as clamps to hold that in place, and then I left it sit flat on that tile. And we'll go ahead and trim the splines up while we're waiting on that to dry. I just used a pole saw. This ain't a very good pole saw. I got it from a big box store, but it gets the job done. So, at this point, my miters really don't look bad, but you can see the glue joint where the glue squeeze out. You're going to see that when you finish it. This one here looks pretty good, but that one looks pretty good. A little bit of sanding might fix them up pretty good. And depending on what kind of finish you use, you may not see that glue squeeze out at all. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to put the 3rd and the 4th 45 on here to finish it up. I've already got the router bit in. Let's get at that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out for these Hobby Lobby hinges. They're the only ones I could find that were small enough that were 1/2 inch in my area. I probably could have ordered some, but I didn't want to wait. And these are left over from when I did that, so these are what I'm going to use. If you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, I'm sure you can order them. But these are right about 1/2 inch, and they fit perfect. So, I've got the table saw set up. Let's go knock this out, and then we'll get back to work on the lid. So now, we are going to take some CA glue and spray on some activator. And that will hold it in place while I pre-drill these holes. How's the other one? There it is. This is a very important step. If you do not pre-drill this white oak, these Harbor Freight screws will snap off, and you will have to drill new holes. And it sucks. I know, because I had to do it. So make sure you pre-drill these holes in this white oak. I figured I'd take a minute and cut the 45s on them trim pieces on the saw. I didn't feel very comfortable doing it with the 1 by 1 inch pieces though. Sorry, had to go get my wood out of the oven. If y'all don't know, Purple Heart is a rough wood to work with, because even though it has this beautiful purple tint to it, it will also turn brown when you cut it. Air is what causes the purple hue naturally, but when you cut it, it will turn brown on you. So there's two ways to get rid of the brown. You can either hit it with a torch, which causes it to turn black, then you have to sand it off, or you can bake it. So I baked that pile of wood at 200 degrees for like 6 hours last night. Now, we shouldn't have any more problems with that. These I put on before I went in to bake my wood. I thought I got that on video, but I must not have hit the record button. I apologize for that. It just stands blew up, you know. So, we will get this lid finished off today. May have to torch something, may not. And we'll get it finished and send out to one of y'all. So if you are already subscribed, you will be entered to win, or sent to you, whatever. And I'll tell you more about that here in a little bit. So let's get to it. I've had two different finishes. This is that Waco, I think it's Watco Butcher Black Wool. And this is my favorite go-to, the Armor Seal, oil-based. I think they look pretty good, but I think that oil's saturating better, so I'm going to use it. And this is the same deal with a white oak. So I think we're going to go ahead and use this Waco, whatever. And we're going to go ahead and get this thing finished. So I'm going to put some gloves on. We're going to watch this color pop. Alright, there we have it. I got her all oiled up. I'm probably going to put another coat of oil on it for y'all. So, I'm going to give this to one of my first 140 subscribers, which I have 142. I have 142 subscribers as of this video. So, those 142 are eligible to get this sent to them. If you are one of them 142, leave me a comment telling me you want it. Then I will take your name, put it in this box, and on August 13th, that's a Saturday, next Saturday, I will pull the name and we'll get your information, and I will mail this out to you, no cost to you at all. Now, this is that white oak and purple heart. I think it come out pretty good. I'm not perfect, but most of my stuff comes out looking pretty good. I think so anyway. If you think so, let me know. If not, you can let me know. But it's probably not going to hurt my feelings. Everybody's got their own taste. Alright. Thank y'all. I'll see you in the next video.